Skenes day for the Pirates, and that means the Cardinals have to face him. The Cardinals are undefeated against him in his career, but incredible numbers across the board here. Everything is above average. The one thing I will note is that the walk rate is a little high at 7.1%, so the path for the Cardinals is really obvious. It's kind of what they've done every time against him. Just work long at bats, make him throw a lot of pitches, and then right at the end of his start, maybe get to him a little bit, force them into the bullpen, and beat him there. So that is what you kind of have to look to do. He's going to strike you out. He's going to do some fantastic things. He has the best pitching run value in baseball so far this year, and the stats back it up in every sense. Although Tarek Skubal might be up there with him. He uses 37% four seams, 19% splitters. And you can look out for the entire arsenal on Paul Skenes, which includes a four-seamer, split finger, sweeper, changeup, sinker, slider, and curveball. So a heck of a pitch arsenal there. And it'll be Brendan Donovan leading off for the Cardinals today. The order is a little bit different today. Jose Fermin is getting the nod at DH. With Gorman playing third base, that means Arenado's getting the day off, despite a pretty good history against Skenes. But Pedro Pajes is behind the plate. Nootbaar is back in the lineup in left. So it'll be Nootbaar in left, Scott in center, Burleson in right. Gorman at third, Wynn at short, Donovan at second, Contreras at first, with Pajes behind the plate and Fermin at DH. The Pirates' defense has Horwitz at first, Gonzalez at second, Hayes at third, with IKF at short, Davis behind the plate today at catcher, with Pham in left, Reynolds in right, and Cruz in center. McCutcheon will be playing DH once again. They're pretty much bringing the same lineup as yesterday, outside of that catcher position. So that is both lineups. Skenes is getting ready to go. Donovan has stepped up to the plate. He is hitting .295 this season. And here is the first pitch of the game. Skenes to Donovan. It is going to get the call on the outside part of the plate. It is 0-1. That one missed, but got the call. It's 0-1 on Donovan. So we are underway. The 0-1 is outside, 1-1. That was the changeup. Donovan's OPS sits at 790 on the year, has 6 homers. As here's the 1-1. It is outside once again with the slider. This time it's 2-1. So that is one thing to look at, is if Skenes is missing the zone consistently, you can really wear him down, get a very high pitch count against him, and get him out of the game earlier on. Also could draw some walks. The 2-1 is fouled back. That was a sinker right down the middle to Donovan. I would consider that a mistake by Skenes, but he is not punished for it. It is 2-2. So not Skenes' cleanest at-bat. Obviously, pitchers don't always start perfectly. And he hasn't been punished whatsoever. So here's the 2-2 to Donovan. Goes down and pops this one up. And into the seats. So a nice foul ball from Donovan. Still 2-2. Really only one pitch has been thrown that Donovan could do anything with so far in this game. That first pitch of the game should have been called a ball, but it is what it is. This is about to be the 6th pitch of the at-bat for Donovan. A nice start to make Skenes work, demonstrating the Cardinal approach. The 2-2 is fouled back again, so a pretty long, good at-bat from Donovan. Skenes does go to the four-seam the majority of the time with 2 strikes, but can mix in the changeup 20% of the time. The 2-2 to Donovan. Swing and a miss. 100 miles an hour up and away, and down goes Donovan. So Skenes gets his first strikeout of the game, and that will bring up Mason Wynn. Let's take a look at the Cardinal lineup history against Skenes. Donovan has had a little bit of success with a .308 average, but everything's been a single. 692 OPS. Burleson's been really good against Skenes. He's 6 for 15, which is a .400 average. 904 OPS against him, and Victor Scott has also had some success with an 800 OPS. He's 1 for 5, but it was a triple. So those are the three guys to watch out for, as I just missed a huge play. Mason Wynn crushed the first pitch fastball out to left field for a double. So that is my bad. I can't believe I missed that. I missed one pitch, and it's a double by Wynn. So the Cardinals have a man in scoring position with one out in the first. It was just a fastball, dead red, right down the middle. Wynn caught up to it and blasted it over Pham's head and left. And he waits on second. Here's the first pitch to Alec Burleson. He'll ground that one foul. It's 0-1. Burleson has 10 homers on the year. Really good history against Skenes. The 0-1. Pokes it the other way. That one's going to be a tough play at third base. Hayes will make the play, though, for out number 2. And with 2 men out and Mason Wynn on third, that'll bring up Wilson Contreras. So a chance to strike early for Contreras. He's hitting about 249 this season with a 761 OPS. Big opportunity for a base hit. The first pitch. In there with the sinker at 99. It's 0-1. That one was right down the middle. We'll see if Contreras can find a hole in the defense here and give the Cardinals an early lead. The 0-1 pitch with 2 outs and Wynn standing on third. Down the middle, driven the other way, but it's going to be playable, and the catch is made in right field by Reynolds. So we will go to the bottom of the first. It is still scoreless despite a Mason Wynn double. Andre Pallante will face the Pirates when we come back. So there are those numbers. I don't know if they're visible right now. Yeah, you can't see the OPS, so let's see if I can drag that over. Doesn't look like I can. I have this set up so that it can clip the Savant and the Baseball Reference really well, along with the Fangraphs depth charts. But I've RotoWire changed their website, so now this shows the hits and at bats, which is really tough to see in its own, like on its own, and then the OPS is over here, which isn't shown. So that's really annoying. Let's see. Yeah. Maybe if I zoom and scroll, that'll work. Let's try that. At least this will make it clearer. They have the home runs, walks. Yeah, you can tell kind of how good each player is against, in this case, Andre Pallante, which I'll grab real quick. Pallante, a little bit below average on the year. Really high ground ball rate. Also doesn't walk a whole lot of people. So those two things combined with the defense behind him create, a decent, serviceable pitcher that you can win games behind. That's kind of what the Cardinals need. But very low strikeout rate and some hard hit baseballs allowed. So it's not perfect, but Pallante's been getting it done over the majority of the season. Let's see if I can get... Okay, this is going to be zoomed as well. Yeah, there you go. Here's the current lineup against Skenes. So Nootbaar hasn't been very good against him, nor has Fermin. Well, actually, Fermin's never seen him. So Nootbaar is the outlier here. Him and Contreras have no hits against Skenes, but Contreras has 2 walks. But anyway, I'm sure the game is back. Yes, it is. Pallante with a first pitch strike to Horwitz. Put it in there. With the sinker, it's 0-1. Horwitz did homer in the game yesterday. He's been heating up in this series. The 0-1 pitch is outside with the slider, 1-1. Paul Skenes gets the superstar benefit of the doubt. He'll get some of those borderline calls that Pallante won't get, and I think you kind of just have to accept that for this game, and that is what it is. Here's the 1-1. Missed just upstairs with the sinker. It is 2-1. Horwitz with a 707 OPS on the year. 14 runs batted in 36 games. The 2-1 pitch is grounded over to second base. Donovan makes the play for out number 1. So down goes Horwitz. That's going to bring up Andrew McCutchen with 1 out and nobody on. McCutchen with a 754 OPS on the year, average at 267. Obviously was a former league MVP in 2013 in the NL. First pitch to McCutchen is low with the fastball, 1-0. We're a number 22 on his belt. It's pretty cool. That's his number. As here's a 1-0 pitch. Gets the call at the top of the zone with the slider. It is 1-1. It's always tough to be the guy going against Skenes. You feel like you're going to have to match zeros in every inning, as Pallante misses downstairs with the slider, 2-1. McCutchen at 220 career stolen bases, 327 homers, over 1,000 RBIs, and over 2,000 hits. As here's the 2-1 pitch. Missed upstairs with the fastball, it's 3-1. The free passes are something you really want to avoid if you are Andre Pallante. It's one of the 2 things I pointed out as above average coming into the game. As here's the 3-1. There it is, puts it in the zone, fouled off, 3-2. That one was just a fastball inside. On deck is Brian Reynolds, the man who made the catch in right to end the first inning for the Cardinals. The 3-2 pitch is low and away with the slider, and that is ball 4. So Pallante hands out a free pass to McCutchen in a long at-bat, and that will bring up Brian Reynolds. Cardinals do have one of their better defensive outfields with Burleson in right and Nootbaar in left now. Gorman playing third might hurt the infield a little bit, but Arenado probably needed a day off. Here's the first pitch from Pallante to Reynolds. Swing and a miss with the curveball, 0-1. Because if Arenado didn't need the day off, I think they probably wouldn't have taken him out of the lineup against Skenes, as he does have a good history against him. Even if Gorman's been really hot. All right, here's the 0-1. It misses inside with the fastball, 1-1 on Reynolds. Reynolds has 10 homers this year with a 708 OPS. Switch hitter, batting from the left side against the righty Pallante. McCutchen on first with 1 out in the bottom half of the first. The 1-1 pitch to Reynolds. Chopped in the air to the middle of the infield. Pallante had to retreat and make the play himself, as the middle infielders were playing too far back to make a play on that one. And Pallante was able to get the out at first. So McCutchen advanced to second base with 2 away in the first inning. Good play from Pallante there, backpedaling to make the grab. So with McCutchen on second and 2 outs, here comes Nick Gonzalez. First pitch is just inside with the sinker, 1-0. Gonzalez is a high average hitter. He's doing pretty well on the year overall as well. 822 OPS in 24 games. Also has 3 homers, as here's the 1-0 pitch from Pallante. Inside with the sinker again, it's 2-0. Gonzalez doesn't walk a ton, but base hit is what you need right here. So we'll see if maybe Pallante's pitching around him a little bit. As here's the 2-0 pitch. Check swing on the slider. Yes, he did. It's 2-1. In his last 5 games, Gonzalez has 1 homer with just a 211 batting average, but the OPS still up at 739. Probably with large help from that homer boosting it up. The 2-1 pitch. Outside with the slider, it is 3-1. So a good at-bat from Gonzalez. Pallante being careful with him. But O'Neill Cruz is waiting on deck. So I don't know how careful you exactly want to be. Here is the 3-1 pitch from Pallante to Gonzalez. Right down the middle, ground ball to short. Mason Wynn is there, and he is out of it. Good inning from Andre Pallante. We're still scoreless through 1 in Pittsburgh. We'll see Nolan Gorman when we come back. It's Gorman, Fermin, and Nootbaar. Fermin is batting 1,000 this year, so I do want to look at how that looks. Was it only like 3 at-bats? I really think it was actually 3 at-bats. Yeah, he is 3 for 3. So there's nothing that we can take from this. It's a very low barrel rate, obviously. Low walk. I mean, it's just the case. He hasn't struck out or walked. He's 3 for 3. I mean, you can't complain about it, but what was he? I kind of want to check what he did at the minor league level. So one good place to do that is Fangraphs. Let's go ahead and go to Jose Fermin, the Cardinals version. There are 2 of them in the league now. Do they have the minor league? Do I have to click somewhere? I could also just get it from Savant itself, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Or never mind. Thought they had that, but I guess not. We'll go to Savant. I know my way around Savant. Okay, it's this one. Here we are. All right, so at the minor league level this year, he has a 913 OPS. I mean, you can't complain about that. 308 average, 483 slug. AAA in 2024, he had a 924 OPS. So, I mean, if he's hitting like this, there's no excuse. You gotta have him at the big league level. He's gonna be at the DH probably until we get Ivan Herrera back. But yeah, I'm sure the game is back by now. Yep, first pitch strike to Nolan Gorman. So it is 0-1. Skenes at pitch number 14 now with the 0-1 count. Here it is to Nolan Gorman. Right down the middle, fouled back, 0-2. That was a fastball that Gorman wanted to go down and get, but he was unable to put that one in play. So he is down in the count 0-2 against Skenes. Next pitch from Skenes. Outside, fouled back on the changeup, still 0-2. In 57 games, Gorman is hitting .220 but has a 714 OPS and 7 homers. He's hit a few of the homers over the course of this last month. The 0-2 pitch is upstairs with the fastball, 1-2. .25 runs batted in on the year. A lot of multiple runs driven in homers. The 1-2 is upstairs again with the fastball, 2-2. So I don't know if Skenes read the scouting report on Gorman, but generally when you get ahead of Gorman, you want to go to breaking pitches. But he's going to the high fastball. I think that is probably a mistake. It's making him throw extra pitches. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Now he throws a perfect high fastball and does get Gorman. But at least Gorman was able to see through the first couple. As he was chasing a ton of sweepers and sliders earlier in the year. And all of last season. But Gorman goes down. Skenes has thrown 4 total balls, 14 total strikes. As here's the first pitch to Fermin. It's in there for a strike with the sweeper, 0-1. Skenes has 2 strikeouts in the game. And he's ahead of Fermin. Here is pitch 20 for Skenes. Low and in with the splitter. He missed. It's 1-1. So if Skenes is a fifth of the way through his outing, that means he'll get 20 outs. That's going to be way too deep into the game. So hopefully Fermin can slow him down a little bit. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss on a curveball below the zone. 1-2 now on Jose Fermin, with Lars Nootbaar on deck. Fermin is 3 for 3 this season. All those hits coming in different games off the bench. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball, left side, easy play for Hayes. And Ke'Bryan Hayes retires Fermin for the first time this year. And that will bring up Lars Nootbaar with nobody on and 2 outs in the second. Nootbaar missed a couple of games with some rib problems and had missed a couple more with a lingering injury against the Cubs or a family issue or something like that. So hopefully he can find a steady presence in the lineup once again as he takes a fastball outside for ball 1. So it's 1-0 on Nootbaar. Still looking for his first career hit against Skenes. Let's see if he can find it here. The 1-0 pitch. Outside again with the sweeper. It's 2-0. He does have a career walk against Skenes, and nobody would be complaining if he did that here. Has 11 homers on the year. The 2-0 pitch from Skenes. Fly ball, left field, out of play. It's 2-1. Skenes is ready. The 2-1 pitch to Nootbaar. Fastball down the middle, fouled back again. It's 2-2. So a lot of good swings from Nootbaar to make contact, but just hasn't been able to straighten it out yet. 2 outs, nobody on. The Cardinals already have a hit in the game. 2-2 pitch is low with the changeup, 3-2. So each team has 1 base runner so far. Full count on Lars Nootbaar with Pedro Pajes waiting on deck. Here's the 3-2 from Skenes. It is low with the sinker, and that is ball 4. So Nootbaar draws another walk against Skenes. And he'll reach base for the first time today, which brings up Pedro Pajes. Great job by Nootbaar making Skenes throw a lot of pitches there as well. Got the count to full and then drew a walk. That is one of the better at-bats you can have in this game, and gives your team a chance to drive in a run with an extra base hit. First pitch from Skenes to Pajes is fouled back. That was a sweeper right down the middle. It is 0-1. Thirtieth pitch of the day for Skenes, the 0-1 to Pajes. He is in there with the fastball up and away for strike 2. So it's 0-2 now on Pajes. Pajes hitting .217 on the season with a .625 OPS. Does have 6 homers, including 1 in this ballpark, I believe. The 0-2 pitch is fouled back, still 0-2. Might have been Pozo who homered here now that I think about it. But Pajes is pretty good in these divisional games. Either way, here's another 0-2 pitch from Skenes to Pajes. Low and away with the sweeper, it's 1-2. Cardinals are definitely not going to be sending Nootbaar on a stolen base journey here, as Nootbaar has a rib injury, and also they probably want to get through Pahes's batting order spot, as there's strike three with the sinker at the bottom of the zone. Pahes does not chase that one, and it costs him. So we go to the bottom of the second. It is still scoreless in Pittsburgh. So here comes O'Neill Cruz. This is always a fun Savant page to look at. He hits the ball ridiculously hard, the hardest in baseball. Also has the fastest bat speed, so it correlates pretty effectively there. And you can see what else correlates: the arm strength, 98.7 miles per hour on his throws out of the outfield. Out of center field, that is extremely valuable on those base hits that are hit really hard with a runner on second, because then they can't send the runner home, as he would gun them down. Does strike out amongst the most in baseball, along with whiffs, and that'll bring down the expected batting average a ton, which is what brings down his actual batting average as well. But when he makes contact, he absolutely crushes it, amongst the highest in barrels, hard hit, and average exit velo. So it's not a launch angle problem, it's not a swing problem at all, he just needs to make contact. Needs to not be fooled by the pitch. That really is what it is. If he predicts the right pitch, he'll track it perfectly and absolutely crush it. Some other Pirates you'll see this inning include Ke'Bryan Hayes and Tommy Pham. I do want to see, is he a stolen base threat? Yes, he is. He has 27 stolen bases this season. 94th percentile in sprint speed as well. So Cruz can do everything. You just hope he doesn't strike out as often in the future if you're a Pirates fan. All right, Pallante is back on the mound. Here we go. First pitch from Pallante to Cruz in the bottom of the second. He is fouled off. It's 0-1. Cardinals sit at third in the division after yesterday's loss to the Pirates. Hoping that they can correct that here against Skenes, which is a tough thing to do. Curveball in the dirt is now 1-1. We're now over halfway through the baseball season. The 1-1 pitch is in there with the fastball 1-2. So you can kind of start to track some of the standings and the wild card and where your team sits. I think now is kind of the time where you start to look at that as we get to that back half. As here is a ground ball from Cruz to Contreras. Flips it to Pallante for out number 1. So a good job by Pallante creating some soft contact there, and that's going to bring up Ke'Bryan Hayes. So Pallante's 99th percentile ground ball rate outshined the 99th percentile barrel rate from Cruz on that pitch. First pitch from Pallante to Hayes in this second inning with 1 out and nobody on is low with the fastball 1-0. Hayes only has a 601 OPS this season with a 246 average. Struggling at the plate as he did last year, but still playing a great defensive third base. As he pops one into the air in center field, Victor Scott ranges over, makes the call, and the grab for out number 2. So with 2 outs, it's going to bring up Tommy Pham. Pham somehow is exactly the same OPS that Hayes had coming into his at-bat at 601. Pham has 2 homers on the year with a 230 batting average. First pitch from Pallante to Pham Swing and a miss on a slider low and away. It is 0-1. Pham is 11 for 23 with at least one RBI in each of his last 6 games. The 0-1 is squibbed out in front of the plate. It's a fair ball, and Pajes makes the throw to first for out number 3. So Pham with an unfortunate ground ball that stayed fair. We go to the third. It is still scoreless in Pittsburgh. So Victor Scott will be the first hitter of the next inning. That's always good, as if Scott gets on base, then you have the top of the order. He can steal a base. Things get churning, especially against Skenes. It'll get into his head. This is important stuff against a pitcher like Skenes. So let's see if Scott can draw a walk or something. He is above average at drawing walks. Not quite as good at drawing walks as Skenes is at avoiding them, but we'll see if he can work one at the bottom of the order here. 11 outs above average this year, 99th percentile in sprint speed, 22 stolen bases with a .330 on base percentage. Obviously, you love getting that defense in center field every single time he plays, and the launch angle is good as well. So when he gets a hold of one, he can hit a homer, as he's done 4 times this year. But also that just means you're barreling the ball when you hit it hard. You can see the barrel rate is higher than the expected slug, higher than the average exit velo, because he has that great launch angle. So when he hits it hard, the barrel rate's a little bit more common. He has a 4% barrel rate. Still not great, but launch angle has a lot to do with that. High strikeout rate. But he is the 9 hitter, plays fantastic defense. You have Donovan, you have Wynn. Donovan, obviously a great player. The embodiment of hustle. Literally made it his brand, Donnie Hustle. Great launch angle from Donovan as well. That's created 6 homers for him this year, but also he doesn't hit, like, his game is not hitting the ball hard. It's just finding the right spot in the defense. You could see him practice it in his barn in the off season. Has that low strikeout rate. He practiced hitting the ball where the defense wasn't, and it really came in to help him out. The expected batting average still sits at .303. That is fantastic. All right, the game is back. And Victor Scott just fouled off the 0-1, so it's 0-2. And here is the 0-2 pitch to Victor Scott. It is outside with the curveball, 1-2. And now we are live. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Scott. It is up and away with the fastball, 2-2. So we'll see if Scott can continue to work this count. Skenes at 37 pitches on the day. It is the 3rd inning. So pretty good job by the Cardinals making him work. The 2-2 to Scott is chopped over toward first base. Scott on the move. He will be safe at first. This one was very, very close. A good attempt by Spencer Horwitz. We're going to have to see whether he got the tag or the glove on the bag before Scott got there. I believe he is safe on that one. It was a chopper that almost played like a bunt toward the first base side, but he hit it just a little too hard. Did the glove hit the bag? Uh-oh. The game just froze. Hopefully this gives me a good look. Yeah, here we go. I don't know whether the foot hit first. I would need to see it slower, but it doesn't look like the Pirates are going to challenge, so I guess it didn't. So Victor Scott has an infield hit. Here's the first pitch to Donovan. If he's going to throw it, yes he will. Pulled foul. It is 0-1. You wonder if Scott might attempt a stolen base. Skenes does throw hard enough that you might not want to. And also he might try to pick you off. But if you can get him into scoring position right now, that would be huge. As here's the 0-1. It is in the dirt with the changeup, 1-1. Scott just bluffed it there, and there was no back pick or freak out from either side, so maybe Scott should try it. The 1-1 pitch is fouled away, 1-2. Donovan is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far today. Wasn't given a great opportunity by the ump. Also had a pretty long at-bat, so you can't complain too much. But we'll see if he can get Scott over at the very least here. The 1-2 pitch is fouled away once again. So another long at-bat for Donovan. Can't ever complain about one of those against a guy like Skenes. With Skenes providing the power, though, Donovan is a threat to drive the ball here. The 1-2 is low and in with the slider, 2-2. Good at-bat from Donovan. He read that one like a book. This is the pitch right here where I would say maybe you try to steal with Victor Scott, maybe do a hit and run. And they back pick right then. Not a back pick, but a pickoff attempt. So that is the first disengagement of the at-bat. Still 2-2 on Donovan. We'll see if Scott is going to try it. He will not. The 2-2 pitch is up and away, and it's 3-2. So now you just got to let Donovan work. You don't want to have a strike him out, throw him out. Double play. Count is full. Victor Scott on first, the 3-2 pitch from Skenes to Donovan. Down the middle, pulled down the right field line, it is down. Reynolds cuts it off, Scott will go first to third, and Donovan puts runners at the corners with nobody out in the third. Great at-bat from Brendan Donovan. Went down and got that one. Skenes already at 45 pitches, and he is in trouble in the third. It was a sinker low and away. Donovan went down with the barrel and drove it out to right field. Nothing Reynolds could have done about that one. So with runners at the corners and nobody out, it's going to bring up Mason Wynn. Wynn already has a double today. He was on a first pitch fastball his last time up. Skenes versus Wynn. Here's the first pitch with runners at the corners. Down the middle, popped foul. It's 0-1. Huge moment in the game here. Cardinals looking to break it open against Paul Skenes. The 0-1 pitch to Wynn. Sweeper outside, pulled foul. It is 0-2. That one was very close, but Wynn was just out ahead of it. Wynn does not have a homer with runners in scoring position this season. Does have 21 RBIs in 61 at-bats with a .295 average in these spots. The 0-2 pitch is popped up behind home plate and into the seats. Still 0-2. So now you kind of have to just take a breath, see if Wynn can settle in and have a long at-bat against Skenes. With a runner on third and less than 2 outs, Mason Wynn is 4 for 7 with 2 sac flies, 8 RBIs in these spots, which is great in 7 at-bats. But you expect that runner to eventually score even if Wynn strikes out here, as here's the 0-2 to Wynn. Swing and a miss on a changeup low and in. That was a great pitch from Skenes. And now there's 1 down with runners at the corners. But the reason I said you expect that run to eventually score is you have Alec Burleson on deck, and Burleson's had a lot of success against Skenes. He is 0 for 1 in the game today, but a career 6 for 16 against Skenes. And all he needs here is basically not a double play. Like a fly ball will drive in this run, a base hit. Just don't ground into a double play. Here's the first pitch from Skenes to Burleson. Goes out and pokes it out too short. And It's a double play. Donovan caught he roamed too far off of first base. It was a little looper too short. It was caught by IKF. He threw it back to first, and Donovan didn't get back in time. We're going to see if Marmol challenges. He will not. So that will end the threat in the third. The Cardinals have runners at the corners with nobody out. And in 2 pitches, that turned into absolutely nothing. We go to the bottom of the third. It is still scoreless. That is crushing. Brutal. He was a soft liner. Donovan should have been able to get back, but he didn't like go full speed into the bag. He kind of jogged back to the bag, and as he slowed down is when the ball got there. So I'd say that's a mistake by Donovan. And Burleson went out and tried to hit one that was outside the zone. You don't blame him for that, but just really bad ball placement. Did not go where he wanted it. And that is unfortunate for the Cardinals. So no score here. It's going to bring up Henry Davis, the catcher for the Pirates. Jeez. There he is. .624 OPS. He's a below average hitter. 4 homers on the year. Just a .207 average. Strikeout rate is decently high. There's nothing that stands out too much. Can barrel the ball when he gets a hold of one. Good launch angle. Yeah, the strikeout rate is pulling him down a little bit, but a lot of it is just he's not squaring the ball up. Not seeing it very well. Because these barrel rates and expected slug, these are good numbers. Let's see if it held up for last season. No, it didn't. Okay, so strikeout rate really pulled him down last year. Played a longer season in 23. Strikeout rate was still high. Yeah, this doesn't look too good. He's going to need to bring down that strikeout rate if anything's going to improve. Same thing that Gorman was dealing with. The strikeout rate kind of pulls you down no matter what you do, especially if you're not barreling the ball as much as Gorman was, which Davis is not. So you can't really expect him to be an above average hitter, but he's 25, big league catcher. He can hit at the catcher level, so you can't complain too much with that. Good caught stealing above average, decent blocks. He can play at the big league level, but can't ever expect a superstar there. As the game's already back and we already have an out. Wow. So what happened here? A first pitch out. Davis grounded it over too short. So 1 out. It's going to bring up Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who takes strike 1. It is 0-1. IKF grounds one over to third base. Gorman makes the throw for out number 2. That one was a little soft chopper. And with 2 outs, it's going to bring up the top of the order with Spencer Horwitz. Horwitz already has a homer in the series. And Pallante is 1 time through the order with no hits allowed. The only thing he's allowed so far is that walk to Andrew McCutchen. So I guess we got to keep an eye on that. As time is called by Horwitz. First pitch from Pallante to Horwitz in the third. He's in the dirt with the fastball, 1-0. Horwitz hitting .256 on the year with a .702 OPS. Does have 2 homers. But the base is empty. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball low and in. It is 1-1. Pallante has Just 8 pitches last inning and 6 pitches so far this inning. Here's the 1-1 to Horwitz. In there with the slider up and away, it's 1-2. Pallante ahead of the count, bases empty. The 1-2 pitch is up and away with the fastball, 2-2. So he's surpassed 33 pitches now. That one was number 34. Puts him over a third of the way through the start, unless something special is happening that allows him to go over 100, which may be the case. Here's the 2-2 to Horwitz. Swing and a miss on a slider below the zone. Down goes Horwitz, and Pallante is through 3. It is still scoreless in Pittsburgh. It's going to be Contreras, Gorman, and Fermin. That was the first strikeout of the day for Pallante. Contreras does have a couple of walks in his career against Skenes. He's finally into that gray area in batting run value. We've been waiting for that. He's almost up to 800. Bat speed is really high. Great launch angle. Expected slug is high as a result. Same thing with the barrel rate. Hitting the ball relatively hard. Walking about average. The only thing pulling him down is the strikeout rate, and a lot of that happened in that first week of the year. Last season, he only had 301 at-bats. He's already matched that this year. So you can see what the slow start kind of did to him. How he's kind of lagging behind these numbers just a little bit due to the slow start, but he's been just as good as last season over the last month. We'll go back here. Gorman, just 1 for 6 in his career against Skenes. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout, so that's not ideal. With Gorman, you can really see the way strikeouts affect your numbers, because he had a year where he was crushing the ball and it was still pulling down the expected batting average. This was 2023, 806 OPS, amongst the top of the league in all of the contact numbers, and yet the expected batting average sit at 237 due to the strikeout rate at 32%. Walk rate was good, so he was a very effective player regardless. But then the strikeout rate climbed, and it crushed him down to a 203 average. And made him a below average player as the walk rate fell. And this year he's pulled the walk rate back up. And he's an average hitter, as the strikeout rate is still pretty high, but not nearly as high as it was. So there's the story of Gorman. The game is probably back. Yep, 1-1 on Contreras. That's the other thing, is I wish I had like a bell that told me when the game was back, because sometimes I ramble, you know. But the 1-1 from Skenes is up and away, 2-1. And the 2-1 pitch to Contreras is in there with the fastball, 2-2. Contreras 0 for 1 so far in the game. Looking to reach base and have a long at-bat against Skenes here. Got to keep the threat alive, even though he was able to get out of that threat in the third. Let's see if the Cardinals could start a new one. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball up and in, fouled back, still 2-2. Skenes is unhappy with that, as he's thrown a lot of pitches in this one. That was pitch 55. He is through 3 innings. So he's on path to not even get through 6. The 2-2, up and in, and it's going to hit Contreras. So Contreras reaches base. Skenes is not happy with that either. And Contreras is laughing and shaking his head as the trainer comes and talks to him. Obviously, he did have a broken hand last year as a result of something similar. But that was as a catcher getting hit in the hand by a bat. So it's a little different. Just missed a couple of weeks later in the year when it, re-injured itself when he got hit by a pitch. So that's always not ideal when he gets hit in the hand, but hopefully he's fine. He's had plenty of time to recover. He's wearing protective gloves and everything. They are talking to him. He is in pain today. Luckily, he doesn't have to catch a pitcher every 5 days. Or actually, every day. My bad. Or every few days, at least last season. So the trainers are still talking to Contreras. There's going to be Nolan Gorman and Jose Fermin next up. Skenes has to stay loose, which is also good news for the Cardinals from a gamesmanship perspective, but I'm hoping Contreras is okay. That's first and foremost. And obviously, you don't expect anybody to actually fake an injury or anything stupid like that. But Skenes is unlikely to throw a full 100 pitches when you have this long of a delay within an inning. They're talking to Contreras. I think he's probably trying to argue to stay in the game. Well, they're kind of just discussing, what hurts and where it is. Yeah, I think they're going to leave him in. He's taking the batting gloves off, removing the arm guard. Puts the helmet back on. Stubby Clapp standing with him. And he will stay in the ball game. Little bruise on the hand. Looks like he's not going to wear the sliding glove. It's probably because he likes to do that swim move when he is sliding. So he is on first. Nobody out in the fourth. Here's the first pitch from Skenes to Nolan Gorman. Fastball. Sorry, that was a changeup downstairs. It was in the dirt either way. 1-0. So Skenes pulled the first pitch to Gorman. Gorman ahead in the count 1-0 with Contreras on first and nobody out in the fourth. Cardinals trying to get a rally going. The 1-0 pitch. Fastball below the zone, 2-0. That one 100 miles an hour. Gorman did strike out his last time up, but he's ahead in the count here. There's absolutely no question that he could drive one with Skenes providing some extra power. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball, swing, and a miss. That was outside. Really nice location from Skenes there. Gorman tried to go out and get it, but he foul-tipped it. So a 2-1 count with Contreras on first. 60th pitch of the game for Skenes, the 2-1. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the top of the zone. It went right by Gorman. Skenes blew it by him. So now it's 2-2. They might go right back to the fastball if Gorman can't catch up. But there is huge risk to that with Gorman at the plate. Well, if he goes out in front of one, they could go to the changeup as well. So that's a fun game to play. Let's see if anyone's guessing. The 2-2 pitch from Skenes to Gorman with Contreras on first. Fastball, bottom of the zone, hit out to right field for a base hit. Great job by Gorman. And there are two on with nobody out in the fourth. He did catch up to the fastball that time. Skenes put it at the bottom of the zone. That's not where he wanted it. 100 miles an hour, right at the bottom of the zone. Gorman able to get the barrel to it. Not try to do too much, just lofts it into right field in front of Reynolds. And with 2 on and nobody out, it is going to be Jose Fermin. With the way Skenes has been in and out of the zone, and after the long break, he did miss 2 pitches to Gorman before finding the zone again. I wonder if Fermin either tries a bunt or tries to work an at-bat here by taking a couple of pitches. Kind of a couple of opposite approaches. But you could kind of bunt and then pull it back against pitches outside the zone. He does square around, pops up a fastball right down the middle, and it's caught by Skenes for out number 1. So as we've seen a lot this year, this generation just doesn't seem to know how to bunt. Like, that's just how I feel about it. Not a good bunt from Fermin. That is out number 1, and that's going to bring up Lars Nootbaar. Nobody advanced, first and second, 1 out. First pitch to Nootbaar from Paul Skenes. He is outside 1-0. That was the fastball. Nootbaar walked his first time up. And he's ahead in the count already here. Big chance to get the lead against Skenes in the 4th. 2 men on. With just 1 out. The 1-0 pitch from Skenes. Fastball caught the outside corner. Great pitch from Skenes. Is 1-1. Big gap in right center if Nootbaar wants to use it. The 1-1 pitch from Skenes to Nootbaar. In there with 98. On the inside part of the plate, it's 1-2. So Nootbaar has not tried to chase anything so far in this at-bat. He's down in the count 1-2. He kind of took the approach I thought Fermin might take. Here's the 1-2. Misses downstairs with the changeup, 2-2. So it did pay off. It gave him at least a 5-pitch at-bat. Now you got to call the bets off and take a swing at one. The 2-2 pitch from Skenes to Nootbaar. Fouled back. It was a fastball low and away, still 2-2. So Nootbaar with a great approach against Skenes here. Still looking for his first hit against the star pitcher. Maybe some newts coming around the stadium if he can produce here. The 2-2 pitch from Skenes to Nootbaar. Outside with the splitter, it's 3-2. That one got away from Skenes. A good play behind the plate by Davis to keep it in front of him. On deck is Pedro Pajes. 2 men on with just 1 out in the 4th. The 3-2 pitch to Nootbaar. Ground ball foul, and we'll do it again. So this next pitch is going to be the 70th pitch of the day for Skenes. He's currently through 3 innings and a third. Another 3-2 pitch to Nootbaar with 2 men on in the 4th. Here it is. Driven in the air to right center field. It'll be playable for Reynolds. He's going to make the grab for out number 2. So Nootbaar could not get a hold of that one. A little bit off the middle of the bat there. So with 2 outs and 2 men on, that's going to bring up Pedro Pajes. Pajes is 0 for 1 with a strikeout so far today. But a base hit could give the Cardinals the lead. Couple of good threatening innings from the Cardinals back-to-back here, but Skenes has shown great fight to battle back in these innings. First pitch from Skenes to Pajes. Instead, he steps off and checks on Contreras, so that's the first disengagement. Now he is ready. First pitch to Pajes. He's fouled back. Another fastball at 98, at the top of the zone, it's 0-1. It is incredibly difficult to catch up to that pitch at the top of the zone. Guys like Burleson have those quick hands at the top of the zone. That's why they can get to Skenes, but it's unlikely that you'll find a lot of those guys. As the sinker catches the top of the zone, it's 0-2. That is why Skenes is so effective at this level. And Pages is now down in the count with 2 outs and 2 on in the 4th. He's going to take his timeout and settle back into the box. 2 men on, 2 men out. The 0-2 pitch to Pedro Pages. Fouled off his foot. We'll do it again. Skenes has thrown at least 17 pitches in each of the last 3 innings. It was 21 in the second, 17 in the third, and this is going to be pitch 24 of the 4th, along with the delay. So he might only go 5 innings this game. The 0-2 pitch to Pedro Pages. Upstairs with the fastball, it's 1-2. Cardinals' approach has been incredibly impressive. You can see why they're the team that continue to beat Skenes. It's because of that offensive approach of wearing down that great starter. The 1-2. Driven to left field. That's a base hit. They're waving around Contreras. The throw from Pham is going to be in time, and down goes Contreras. Great throw from Tommy Pham. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is still scoreless in Pittsburgh. A hit for Pages does not score the run. I like the aggression. I think it's the only approach you can have right there. But the run did not score. So that's going to bring up Andrew McCutchen, who walked his first time up. Still no hits allowed by Pallante. McCutchen's been above average this year. Good walk rate. Pretty low strikeout rate at 20.7%. It's not super low, but, lower than average. Good contact. I mean, he's just a solid player. Always has been, but to do that at this age is incredible. 38 years old. 757 OPS, 410 slug, 347 on base. Wait, do I have the year wrong for his MVP? Was it 2015? I've said 2013 like 5 times. It was probably 2015. Oh no, 2015 was the first year of Savant. That's what it is. It was 2013. Okay. Because, yeah, you had Chris Bryant in 15. My bad. Yeah. Because I was like, there's no way that his numbers start in 2015. But yeah, Savant started in 2015. Gotta remember that. Or at least StatCast. So here we go. The game is back. We'll see if Andre Pallante can continue to get outs. There was nothing Contreras could have done. Even if he slid at the plate, Pham had him by a mile. Perfect throw from left field. Great job by Tommy Pham. Skenes pointing out to Pham in appreciation. And it'll be Pallante versus McCutchen, Reynolds, and Gonzalez in this inning. So this is a really threatening inning from the Pirates. Let's see what Pallante can do. Alec Burleson has made the move to first base. That means Wilson Contreras is done. They took him out after that hand issue. And that means Garrett Hampson is in the game in right field. He's going to take over for that Burleson lineup slot. Definitely not something you'd love to hear. But it's good defense, so that'll help Pallante here. Slider in there for a strike at the bottom of the zone. It's 0-1. Hampson's a guy who can also bunt. I do believe somehow he'll get a bunt on the ground. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back, 0-2. Hampson is a guy with a lot of speed. So if he can bunt, which I think he can, he's one of those rare guys now. I don't mind having him in that spot in the lineup, as you have two guys who can get on base right in front of him, in Wynn and Burleson. The 0-2 pitch from Pallante to McCutchen is fouled back, still 0-2. So Pallante, 0 hits allowed so far. The Cardinals continue to threaten each inning to score, but just can't get a man in. So no support for Pallante yet. The 0-2 pitch to McCutchen is fouled off, still 0-2. This next pitch will be the 40th of the game for Pallante. It is the 4th inning. That is perfectly fine efficiency for a starter on a normal day. Just might not be efficient enough to do a solo no-hitter if we were to discuss something like that. The 0-2 is popped foul, still 0-2. I don't know how people feel about talking about those. I consider it a little bit of a jinx, but it's pretty early to talk about it anyway, so just something to note. Brian Reynolds waiting on deck. The 0-2 pitch to McCutchen. Driven out to left field, and it's going to drop right in front of Nootbaar. He might have been able to make a diving grab there, but that's the first hit of the game for the Pirates. It's going to bring up Brian Reynolds, so no more discussions on that topic. And maybe I did jinx it. You could say I did. That would be fair. That was a hanging curveball right over the middle of the plate. Nootbaar had to play it on a hop. And McCutchen's reached base in both of his at-bats. First pitch from Pallante to Reynolds is in there with the fastball low and away. It's 0-1. Reynolds has 0 WAR accumulated this year, does have 10 homers, 707 OPS, so league average OPS. I guess league average fielding as well. Swing and a miss on a fastball low and in. It's 0-2. Pallante pitching a great game to try to match Skenes so far today. It's been all zeros from both sides, but big threat here with McCutchen on first and nobody out. Timeout called. They're going to say no eye contact was made by Pallante. So that's his first warning for that. It's always a fun rule. Pallante goes ahead and makes some eye contact. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Outside with the curveball, 1-2. Cardinals are playing Reynolds to pull. They have Donovan far on that pull side. Near first base, closer to first than second. The 1-2 pitch to Reynolds. Check swing. No, he did not. 2-2. Reynolds is hitting .261, so that's 20 points higher than he usually does with runners on base this year. I would say he probably didn't go there. I think that's the right call. Just a little further, and I would have said he did. 46th pitch of the game for Pallante. Here's the 2-2 to Reynolds. Ground ball, right-hand side. Donovan turns it to Wynn, who fires one, but Reynolds is just barely safe. Cardinals are going to take a look at that. But I do believe Reynolds beat that one out to reach base here in the 4th. Great turn regardless. It was a hard-hit ball. Donovan had to play it just a little slower than you'd hope, and that's why Reynolds was able to beat it out. Let's see here. That's really, really close. Really close. I don't think you could overturn it. But the Cardinals did challenge, so maybe it's overturnable. Let's go ahead and see. I want to see like a frame by frame. Yeah, here we go. I think he is out. I think this is a good call by the Cardinals. Yeah, he's out. Yep, that's going to be overturned. There's a good clip of it. That angle proved it for sure. So it is a double play. Great turn from Donovan. Even better throw by Wynn to rocket it over to first base for out number 2. Reynolds already walking back to the dugout. So there's no question about that. It is overturned. So there you go. 2 outs, nobody on. And that will bring up Nick Gonzalez. Mason Wynn's arm at shortstop is one of those valuable tools that probably doesn't get discussed enough. There are some slow grounders that only he can make the play on. In the same way Arenado can make those barehanded plays, Mason Wynn can make those rocket throws at short. Turning double plays has never been easier, as here's the first pitch to Gonzalez. Drops the curveball in the dirt. It's 1-0. So nobody on, 2 outs in the 4th, still a scoreless game. Huge double play turned by Donovan and Wynn there. As here's the 1-0 from Pallante. Gonzalez fouls that one off. It's 1-1. Gonzalez is 0 for 1 in the game today. Left a man on base his first time up. That man was McCutcheon. Here's the 1-1. Caught the outside part of the plate with the slider. It's 1-2. That was a great pitch from Pallante. He shakes off Pajes, I believe, there. And here is the 1-2 pitch to Nick Gonzalez. Way outside with the slider. 2-2. So that was pitch 50 for Pallante. As Gonzalez steps back in. The 2-2 pitch is in the dirt, 3-2. So a couple misses by Pallante there. We'll see if he can put one back in the zone, as Gonzalez had a good eye on those breaking balls. On deck is O'Neal Cruz, but there are 2 outs and nobody on with a full count to Gonzalez. The 3-2 pitch. Low and in, pulled over to short. Mason Wynn makes a great stop, turns and throws, and gets the out on Gonzalez. That's a hit against a vast majority of shortstops, but not Wynn. And we go to the 5th. It is still scoreless. What a play. He had to slide over, pick it with his glove, and then make a rocket throw to first. Also a good play by Burleson to keep it off the ground there. So we're going to go back to the bottom of the order with Victor Scott in this inning. He started a big rally in the 3rd that was shut down on a line-out double play to short by Burleson. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Scott does have 4 homers, 22 stolen bases on the year. Had a great at-bat against Skenes his first time up. And Skenes has a pretty high pitch count at this stage in the game. Let's see where he's sitting. 75 pitches, so he's going to be above 80 by the end of this inning. At the very most, he's going to go 6 innings. Probably just 5. So the Cardinals did a great job staying in this one. They're going to probably end up playing a battle of the bullpens unless something big gets going here in the 5th, which is what they ask for when you get Pallante versus Skenes. Great game so far from these guys. And honestly, it feels like they should be winning. A couple of great bailouts by the Pirates defense to help get Skenes some support, even though they can't support him with runs, it seems like. He has, what, 1 win? Okay, here we go. Skenes is back on the mound. Here we go. Skenes' ERA sits at 2.05 on the year as he gets a swing and a miss by Victor Scott for strike 1 with the splitter. It is 0-1. It is the top of the 5th inning, still scoreless in Pittsburgh. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled back on a splitter low and away. It's 0-2. Scott had a single back in the 3rd, but he's down in the count here. See if he can rally back like he did last time. The 0-2 pitch. Just above the zone with the fastball, 1-2. Skenes wanted that one. You could kind of see it in the catcher's eyes that he wanted that as well. And it was a very close 0-2 pitch. Here's the 1-2 from Skenes to Scott. Misses low with the changeup. It's 2-2. Fifth pitch of the at-bat. The 2-2 pitch from Skenes to Scott. Swing and a miss on the splitter outside. That was a fantastic pitch from Skenes, and down goes Scott. So that'll bring up Donovan at the top of the order. Donovan did get a hit his last time up. He is 1 for 2 with a strikeout today. If Skenes gets that splitter going, that can change a game quickly. First pitch to Donovan. He is low and in with the curveball, 1-0. The long, grueling approach from the Cardinal offense today has built up that pitch count above 80. The 1-0 pitch to Donovan. He is low and in, perfectly placed fastball. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch to Donovan. Goes down and flies this one to center field, but that one's going to be playable for O'Neal Cruz right in front of the track for out number 2. You don't blame Donovan for taking a good swing at that pitch. It was a fastball in the zone, but he just couldn't get all of that one. He had to pull a little bit more to get the barrel around. Was unable to do so, so that's going to bring up Mason Wynn. Mason Wynn is 1 for 2 today, also has a strikeout in the game. That one came with runners at first and third, as the first pitch is in there for a strike with the fastball. Yeah, his last strikeout was right ahead of that Burleson lineout that resulted in a double play. The 0-1 pitch from Skenes is just outside with the sweeper, 1-1. So 2 outs, nobody on. The 1-1 pitch to Wynn. Swing and a miss on a sweeper at the bottom of the zone. It is 1-2. So Skenes actually having a really efficient inning now. Might be able to stretch it to 6 in this one. Wynn was out ahead of that slider. Did have a double his first time up. The 1-2 pitch from Skenes to Wynn. He is upstairs with the fastball, 2-2. Two pitch to Wynn. He's popped up. That one looks to be playable. Over on the first base side, yes it is. The catch is made. by Horowitz, and we will go to the bottom of the 5th. It is still scoreless in Pittsburgh. So 88 pitches for Skenes. It sounds like he'll probably go out for one more inning. So that was not the best inning from the Cardinals, going down 1-2-3, but it was a few long at-bats, so not the worst thing in the world. It's going to be, let's see, Cruz, Hayes, and Pham for the Pirates. So we've already seen these 3 hitters. We've already had the whole Cruz discussion. Pham did make a great play in left field. They have his arm value at -1, so that'll improve that, probably back to 0. This is always that interesting point in the game when you know both starters are still in the game. You've already gone through all the players. That's where I like to use the random word generator. We could talk about the championship. I mean, the teams who are contending for the championship this year, I mean, it looks like the Dodgers, it looks like the Tigers. There are a lot of wild card teams that could threaten for it. Like if the Phillies wake up, of course they could. The Astros are obviously up there as well. You'd love to see the Cardinals maybe add a starting pitcher and become one of those teams, but right now it doesn't quite feel like it. But you never know. Pallante misses with the slider outside. It's 1-0 on O'Neal Cruz. Cruz is 0 for 1 so far today. Nobody on, nobody out in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-0 pitch is downstairs with the fastball, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch is in there with the fastball, 2-1. Great pitch to Cruz there from Pallante. Looks like Caleb Ferguson, the lefty, is getting ready in the Pittsburgh bullpen. So you wonder if he'll be coming in already. The 2-1 to Cruz is low with the slider, 3-1. So Pallante struggling to find the zone against Cruz. It is the point in the order where you'd be most willing to have a walk, probably, but still not one you want to give up with Cruz's speed. The 3-1 pitch. Driven out to right field, but well played by Garrett Hampson for out number 1. Hampson was playing Cruz to pull a little bit in right field and was able to prevent extra bases there. Nothing too impressive about it, but just ran over and made the grab. So with 1 out and nobody on, that's going to bring up Ke'Bryan Hayes. Hayes is 0 for 1 today. Both him and Pham have pulled their OPSs down below 600. Hayes at 599. The first pitch from Pallante is outside, 1-0. Pallante's pitch count is at 58, but he and Skenes had to deal with that delay in the middle of the game caused by the injury to Contreras, as here's a fly ball to left field. Nootbaar is there for out number 2. And what that does is it's basically like an extra inning of waiting, or a long inning of waiting. I mean, I guess in the case of Pallante, having a good offense can do that as well, create that extra wait time, and due to all the other innings being quick innings from you, it probably hasn't hurt him as much. But Skenes basically had an extra offensive inning while he was waiting for Contreras, which may mean he's already done. So we'll have to see who they go to next inning. As Pallante misses a slider outside, it's 1-0 on Pham. The 1-0 pitch to Pham is low, 2-0. You can tell Skenes didn't want to come out of the game after last inning. But he was also looking around kind of like this might be the end of the performance for me. So I really don't know. I think he wants a win, but doesn't look like he'll probably get one. The 2-0 pitch to Pham is driven out to right center field. Victor Scott makes a great diving catch in right center. What a play by Victor Scott, and we'll go to the 6th. Still scoreless in Pittsburgh. Incredible. Victor Scott, that is why you have that man on your roster. Alrighty, so we might as well check out the bullpen member who was warming up, because he might be coming in the game. That was the lefty Caleb Ferguson. He hasn't pitched in a couple days. .03 whip, 2.75 ERA, 10 pitching run value. The softest average exit velo in baseball, along with the lowest hard hit rate. Also doesn't give up barrels due to the exact same reason, and gets a lot of ground balls. So the approach against him with the low strikeout rate and the high walk rate is definitely work long at bats once again. You'd love to be able to want to swing away against the bullpen, but this is a really good pitcher. Has a decently high walk rate. That's something you can take advantage of, especially with that low whiff rate. So if you're not getting whiff, when people swing, they make contact. So you can keep fouling the ball off. Maybe pick up a few base hits, but you're probably not going to create a bunch of barrels against him. So base hits and walks are going to be the strategy against Ferguson. Who's due up for the Cardinals? Burleson, Hampson, and Gorman. So that is a couple of lefties. The 4th hitter is going to be Fermin. The 5th is going to be Nootbaar. So yeah, the on-base lefties for sure. Hampson maybe to get a base hit. There's not going to be a whole lot of power in this upcoming inning. Maybe the whole rest of the game for the Cardinals. The biggest power comes from Gorman and Burleson. And Ferguson's a great matchup for those guys. So yeah, Skenes is done. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Still a great game from Skenes, 0 earned runs. But the Cardinals did threaten him a few times. And they got him out of the game after just 5 innings. So makes him not the winner of this one. Lowest run support this year. 2 of the top 5 come from the Pirates. Number 1 is Mitch Keller. Number 5 is Paul Skenes. Crazily, Yamamoto is actually 3rd on that list. Yamamoto gets less support than Skenes, which is insane. Ferguson misses outside with the sinker. It's 1-0 on Alec Burleson. Burleson is 0 for 2 so far today. Has no strikeouts, left 3 men on base. The 1-0 is in there for a strike, 1-1. You do want to have a long at-bat against Ferguson, as the 1-1 pitch is driven to second base. They had him played perfectly there at second. It was Nick Gonzalez making the play for out number 1. I thought that one was hit pretty hard. It might get through, but well played by the Pirates. So 1 out, nobody on. That will bring up Garrett Hampson. Let me check Ferguson's innings per outing here. Looks like 36 innings in 37 games. So probably just 1 inning from him. As the slurve is in there for a strike to Hampson, it is 0-1. The 0-1 to Hampson is fouled off. 0-2. That was a fastball at the top of the zone. Hampson came into the game for Wilson Contreras midway through. You want to get that righty bat between the couple of lefties, but the downside is obviously he is your 4-hitter now. The 0-2 is taken for strike 3 from Caleb Ferguson. Hampson was one of the guys you were hoping for a base hit from in this inning. Did not happen, so that's going to bring up Nolan Gorman. Gorman's a great guy to have in a 0-0 ball game. He could give you the lead with one swing of the bat. That being said, it's a lefty-lefty matchup against a guy who has some of the softest contact in baseball. So working a walk might be a better strategy as he grounds the first pitch to second base. Gonzalez is there for out number 3. So Gorman wasn't thinking for a walk there. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still scoreless. So Ferguson's stuff worked beautifully. He only threw 8 pitches. It'll be Davis, Kiner Falefa, and Horwitz for the Pirates. So we'll go to IKF, the shortstop. I'll now never forget that he's a shortstop after yesterday. -6 batting run value. Yeah, the contact's not very strong, but he doesn't strike out, squares the ball up. People know who he is. It's crazy that he has a -4 outs above average. There was a time when he was a pretty good defensive shortstop, right? Yeah. 11 outs above average in 2018. Great defense in 2020. And then it just fell off a cliff in 2021. I don't know what happened. Came back in 2023, I guess. And last year. Okay. So, I mean, maybe he could still do it on the defensive side. Just isn't showing up so far this year. But definitely not producing like he was here. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Obviously, 2018, that's 7 years ago. He was 23 years old. Definitely helps. All right, so Pallante is going to go back out there. He's at just 62 pitches. So you have to imagine he'll go at least through this inning. They might want him to go another time through the order, as he's working through the lineup pretty well here in Pittsburgh. Pallante versus Davis. Here is the first pitch of the 6th. Chopper back to the mound. Pallante will flip that one to Burleson for out number 1. So 1 out. Nobody on here. Burleson obviously playing first base after the injury to Contreras, as first pitch fastball is in there low and in against Kiner Falefa for strike 1. IKF is 0 for 1 so far today. Skenes will not get the win. The 0-1 pitch is in there right down the middle with the curveball, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch from Pallante to IKF in the 6th is way low and away with the slider, 1-2. One interesting aspect of this is Fermin Nootbaar Pages is what's due up for the Cardinals next. It's going to be lefty, righty, lefty, basically all the way down the lineup like that, with the only back-to-back being Scott and Donovan at 9 and 1. So you wonder whether they keep Ferguson in the game a little longer, as he only threw 8 pitches. As here's the 1-2 from Pallante to IKF. It is in the dirt, 2-2. One out, nobody on. The 2-2 pitch from Pallante here in the 6th. It is outside with the curveball, 3-2. So full count on IKF with Spencer Horwitz waiting on deck. This is definitely not a walk you want to issue here. Only McCutcheon has been allowed to reach base so far. Here's the 3-2 from Pallante. Fouled off of the leg of Pages. He is not feeling good after that one. Might have been the inner thigh. It might have been somewhere else. Pajes is obviously a guy you really definitely don't want to lose in a spot like this. Ivan Herrera not really available to catch too much. With Pozo, you do have one really nice backup there. But yeah, that one did catch him in the middle of the leg area. So I'm not sure whether it bounced up where you definitely don't want it to bounce up or whether it's just a leg problem here. My guess is that it did bounce up. Yep, it is definitely hurting in the groin area. And he is just giving himself a breather for a minute. Pallante at pitch number 70. So after that break, we'll see if Pallante can find the zone again. The 3-2 pitch from Pallante to IKF with nobody on and one out in the bottom of the 6th. Here it is. Ground ball playable at third. Gorman cuts off Wynn, makes the throw to first. Great pick by Burleson for out number 2. That one bounced way outside on Burleson. He had to reach out after that to make the stretch and the grab. Gorman actually with a quick smile over at him, as that was a really nice play by Burleson. Two outs, nobody on. We go back to the top of the order. Spencer Horwitz, who is 0 for 2, takes ball 1 below the zone. It's 1-0. Pallante on track to maybe go 7 innings here unless something shakes him up here. The 1-0 pitch to Horwitz. Inside, fouled off his leg. That one will hurt a little bit. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is in there with the fastball at the bottom of the zone, 1-2. So Pallante at 73 pitches. Only 18 in an inning is his highest today. That was the first inning. So since then, he's been very efficient. The 1-2 is outside, 2-2 with the slider. On deck is Andrew McCutchen. So if he can get Horwitz here, it would be a good opportunity to go ahead and end Pallante's night, as he has struggled to get McCutchen. And then you'd have the heart of the order behind him. But here's the 2-2 to Horwitz. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the top of the zone. Down goes Horwitz. Great 6 innings, scoreless from Andre Pallante. We go to the 7th, still scoreless in Pittsburgh. It'll be Fermin due up first for the Cardinals. Ferguson could stay in the game. Maybe go Fermin and Nootbaar with him, and then you go to a righty, or you could go Fermin, Nootbaar, Pajes, Scott, Donovan with a lefty here. I think Ferguson could face all of those guys, but he doesn't seem to be the lefty that they want doing multiple innings, so we can check the bullpen. But if I'm the Pirates here, the righty threats for the Cardinals are only Mason Wynn. Outside of Wynn, it is Hampson, Fermin, and Pajes from the right-handed side. So I would go to lefties for the rest of the game and bring in a righty just for that win at bat if you can. But basically no righties. Like, I think that's the strategy from their side. We can go to their bullpen and see. They have way too many righties for that, huh? Genesis Cabrera facing the Cardinals. I don't think that would be a good idea from their side. We know way too much about him and what he can miss. I mean, the walk rate is just going to be a problem, I believe, still for Cabrera. It was with the Cardinals at the very least. We can look, actually. I mean, it's fun to look at an old player that you used to have on your roster. -2 pitching run value, walk rate. Ooh, he got the walk rate all the way down to 7.5%. But if I remember correctly, he was 11.1 with the Cardinals. And 12.2 in 2021. 10.3 in 2022. So he got it down. So congratulations to Genesis for that. Strikeout rate has gone below average. ERA up at 5.59. Not a great year from him. But he could see some gameplay today. It would be a good idea. Caleb Ferguson looks like he is going to stay in the game. So that is great management by the Pirates. First pitch to Fermin is a strike. It is 0-1. Yeah, I completely agree with this from the Pirates' perspective. You have good lefties across the board for the Cardinals today and a bunch of, base hit righties, no real power on the right-handed side. And that means a contact lefty like Ferguson could probably go up and down the order. So that is frightening for the Cardinals. So an 0-2 count on Fermin. Here is the 10th pitch of the day for Ferguson. It is just inside, 1-2 with the fastball. Fermin is now 3 for 5 on the year. 0 for 2 so far today. Does have the platoon advantage against Ferguson here. He's a threat to get a base hit. The 1-2 is low, 2-2. I would say Fermin might be the guy with the best chance to get a hit against Ferguson because just the swing plane, the platoon advantage. Here's the 2-2. Fouled off, still 2-2. Nootbaar, I believe, might be more likely to walk against him. So maybe you could get the hit from Fermin here, and then the walk by Nootbaar could create a run this inning. We'll have to see. The 2-2 pitch to Fermin. Driven out to left center. It's going to be off the glove of Gonzalez. An error by the Pirates. And it is going to be extra bases for Fermin. So a very lucky hit off the glove of the second baseman, Nick Gonzalez, in left center field. It should have been just a pop out, but nobody made the grab. And Fermin has a bloop double with a chance to give the Cardinals the lead. I guess it's going to be an error. Definitely going to be an error on Gonzalez. Either way, the Cardinals have a man in scoring position with nobody out in the 7th. So here comes Lars Nootbaar with a man on second and nobody out. First pitch from Ferguson to Nootbaar. He is in there with the fastball, 0-1. Nootbaar, one of the best in baseball at drawing walks. At least he was at the start of the season. Big hole in left center. The 0-1 misses outside, 1-1. Nootbaar did have a walk today back in the second. He is 0 for 1. He could move the runner over here and give the Cardinals a huge chance in the 7th. The 1-1 pitch to Nootbaar from Ferguson. Chopped foul to the right side. It's 1-2. So this is one of those rare moments where the soft contact numbers don't really matter to the Cardinals. They kind of want soft contact because that can move the man over and then drive him in. So Nootbaar just trying to pull the ball here, get Fermin to third in any way possible. The 1-2 pitch from Ferguson to Nootbaar. Chopped the other way over to short. They have to go to first. Great job by Nootbaar. He moves the man over to third. Fermin on third with 1 out. Some soft contact there. And with just 1 out and a man on third, it's going to be Pedro Pajes with a chance to give the Cardinals the lead. This is one of his most important at-bats of the year. All he needs to do here is drive in the run. Find a way to either poke one through or get one in the air. You wonder if they'll go to a right-handed pitcher. But if they do, the righty will have to face Victor Scott afterwards. So I expect Ferguson to have to face both of them. But they probably wouldn't walk Pages to try to face Donovan eventually. So at the end of the day, Pages gets this chance. And yes, they will face Pages after a meeting on the mound. So Ferguson versus Pages with Fermin on third and 1 out. We have a sinker outside. It is 1-0. Pages is 2 for 9 with a couple of sac flies in these situations. Has 10 RBIs with the runner on third and less than 2 outs. The 1-0 pitch is in there with the cutter. It is 1-1. Decent take by Pages, unless you're going to be out in front of that one. That's a tough one to put in play. The infield is way in right now. There's a big gap up the middle as Pages calls time. So anything lofted into the outfield would be a hit here. Infield way in, the 1-1. He is fouled back, 1-2. So Pages at risk now. Strikeout would be the worst possible outcome. With a man on third and less than 2 outs, you really need to put the ball in play. Give that run a chance to score. The 1-2 pitch from Ferguson to Pages. He is low with the cutter, 2-2. Decent at-bat by Pages so far. He's seen the pitches. Now he's just got to make the contact. 22nd pitch of the outing for Ferguson. Getting a little long. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a slurve on the outside part of the plate. Tough pitch to hit for Pages. Chased outside the zone. And there's 2 down with the man on third for Victor Scott. That was a very important at-bat. We'll see if Victor Scott can salvage the inning with 2 outs. Cardinals tried a little bit of small ball, but Pages unable to deliver. So with 2 outs and a man on third, the first pitch to Scott is a check swing. No, he did not. It's 1-0. Base hit would still score the run. Scott is 1 for 2 today with a strikeout. Ferguson, one of the best in baseball at creating soft contact, but Scott is one of the fastest in baseball, so watch out for an infield hit. The 1-0 is up and in. 2-0, that one almost hit Scott. Still have a man on third with 2 outs, so could give the team the lead with one little infield hit here. Scott's hit earlier was an infield hit. He is one of the fastest men in baseball. The 2-0 pitch. Cue shot up the middle. Hampson ranges over and makes the play. Sorry, that's Gonzalez. For some reason, I thought back to the Reds, and now we have Hampson. But either way, ground out by Scott, still scoreless. We go to the bottom of the 7th. That is unfortunate. Just keep stranding runners in scoring position today. Wonder what the statistic looks like. With runners in scoring position, it's got to be a pretty low average. Oh, here you go. They have it on here. 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position today. And the 1 got thrown out at home. That was Pages' single to left field. Tommy Pham made a great throw. The Pirates have only taken 1 at-bat with a runner in scoring position today. They're 0 for 1. They've left just 1 man on base. The Cardinals have left 6. So it'll be McCutchen, Reynolds, and Gonzalez for the Pirates. You could see the bullpen come in for the Cardinals. You could also see Pallante stay in. I think either way works. Okay, I think it is going to make me scroll. Any ILs? Still Herrera and Walker. Okay. So for here, McCutcheon's obviously a righty. Reynolds is a switch hitter. And then Gonzalez, also a righty. So you can go to any of the good righties against the Pirates. Leahy would be a great option. He can go multiple innings in a tie ball game. But the Cardinals will stick with Pallante for now. The first pitch to McCutcheon is low with the slider, 1-0. Obviously, O'Neill Cruz is another threat, so you would want to face him with a lefty, I believe. So maybe they're going to go Pallante versus McCutcheon, then a lefty against Reynolds, Gonzalez, Cruz. As McCutcheon fouls off that sinker, it's 1-1. They could also just be letting Pallante go, try to get him through this inning and maybe next inning as well. It's not a bad idea. He's been very efficient today, but McCutcheon's been the biggest problem. The 1-1 pitch. Outside 2-1. When a man struggles with a guy the way that Pallante has struggled with McCutcheon, I think this is one of those at-bats that's really tough to justify, as Riley O'Brien is getting ready for the Cardinals. Here's the 2-1. Misses low with the slider. It's 3-1. As a base runner could be the difference here in the 7th. McCutcheon could be pinch run for after this at-bat, as it's the 7th inning. As here's the 3-1, it is up and away, and that is ball 4. So McCutcheon reaches base for the 3rd straight time. He's reached base every time against Pallante, and the go-ahead run is on base in the 7th. And for that reason, I just can't see why you leave Pallante in for that spot. You have the full bullpen available. You used one long reliever yesterday. But either way, Pallante now facing Reynolds. The first pitch. Right down the middle with the fastball, 0-1. Pallante has been great against the rest of the lineup. Reynolds grounded into a double play in his second at-bat today. The 0-1 pitch from Pallante is right down the middle with the fastball. It's 0-2. Reynolds has grounded into 11 out of 77 double plays in those opportunities. So 1 out of every 7 opportunities, he's grounded into a double play. It's got to be among the league leaders. Yes, it was a heck of a double play last time. It was Donovan turning it with Win. As here's the 0-2 pitch from Pallante to Reynolds. Chopped the other way, foul, still 0-2. Pallante's produced 5 double plays this year on 48 opportunities. It's a pretty good rate in its own right. The 0-2, nope. Pallante steps off. I believe that timeout was called by Reynolds, though. The 0-2 pitch. Smoked to right field, but foul. That was a very scary moment for the Cardinals. It could have been extra bases. So it is still 0-2. 1 man on, nobody out in the 7th. Reynolds is 0 for 2 today. Pallante on pitch number 85. So he'll probably be done after this inning regardless. The 0-2 pitch to Reynolds. Ooh, that was a fastball. Caught the upper inside corner, but didn't get the call. It is 1-2. Perfectly placed by Pallante. Ump could not pull the trigger. So Reynolds gets another shot at it. The 1-2 pitch to Reynolds. Swing and a miss on a fastball low and in, and that one got him. So down goes Reynolds. There's one man out, and that'll bring up Nick Gonzalez. Pallante has been simply fantastic today. The only man causing him any trouble has been Andrew McCutchen. Literally has been perfect against every other member of the Pirates today. 2 walks to McCutchen and 1 hit allowed to McCutchen. Everybody else out. First pitch misses outside to Gonzalez. It's 1-0. Gonzalez does have a pretty high average this year. He's been pretty good over the course of the year. 806 OPS, 292 average. Pallante looking for the out here. The 1-0 pitch to Gonzalez in the 7th. Ground ball. Gorman turns it to Donovan, but only 1 out recorded. My natural instinct there is to hope that Arenado smokes it over to second for a double play, but Arenado was not present, so my natural instinct was left wanting more there, but Gorman was able to get the out at second. That's going to bring up O'Neal Cruz. Cruz is 0 for 2 so far today. Pallante only has 3 strikeouts on the day. First pitch to Cruz in the bottom of the 7th, with 2 outs and 1 man on. Inside with the fastball, 1-0. Cruz is a career 2 for 7 against Pallante. I'm not sure if that was coming into today or so far including today, as it's just shown at the bottom of the screen. But he does have a strikeout against Cruz. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Pallante. Downstairs, 2-0. This is another guy you wouldn't really mind walking, as Ke'Bryan Hayes is waiting on deck, but you really don't want to put the go-ahead run in scoring position. So, in my mind, I guess it's a couple of bad answers. Probably just have to make a good pitch. The 2-0 is in there for strike 1. A great pitch from Pallante, 2-1. That was a fastball at 95, low and away. Pallante's now reached 91 pitches in the game, so it will be his last inning, I promise. Marmol doesn't send him back out there. Here's the 2-1 to Cruz. Gets the call with the curveball low and away. That one was called only because Cruz is tall, and they don't know where the bottom of his zone is. That was one of those Aaron Judge calls. Great job by Pajes to frame it up. And Cruz is not happy about that. So it's 2-2. McCutchen standing on first. Pallante trying to get everybody not named McCutchen in the game today through 7 innings. 2-2 count. 2 outs. 1 man on. The 2-2 pitch is low with the slider. 3-2 on Cruz. Cruz with really good composure to not lash out at the ump there. I would have been furious on that curveball. It missed probably 3 inches below the zone. Here's the 3-2. Chopper up the middle. Mason Wynn ranges over and makes the play. Great outing from Andre Pallante today. 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks. All of those to Andrew McCutchen. Everybody else retired. Through 7, we're still scoreless in Pittsburgh. Holy smokes. So that's going to be it for Pallante today. And I think they have to go to someone else in the bullpen. So they have a lot of good righties. A couple of them, I guess Sugar just pitched yesterday, so he's going to be out. Cabrera did pitch 2 days ago on Sunday, but he is a lefty. And who is due up? It's going to be looks like Donovan, Wynn, and Burleson. So 2 of the best lefties in the Cardinal order are due up. I think there's no super good answer here, unless they can still leave Caleb Ferguson in. But Ferguson threw 25 pitches. Where does Ferguson usually end up throwing? We can see his pitch count. He does have a 28 pitch hold on Saturday. And he had 2 days off after that. So maybe they stick with Ferguson, but I think that's pushing it. So their options here are interesting. Could be Genesis Cabrera, could be Caleb Ferguson, could be a righty. I think the wrong answer is the righty. I think there's some upside to Cabrera, there's some upside to Ferguson. I would probably go with Ferguson, but they're going to go with Matson. So let's see who Matson is. Just a middle reliever, right-hander. I think that's probably not the right guy to go to. Matson, oh, he looks good. Okay. He's thrown 14 2/3 innings, so a small sample, but got 16 strikeouts in those innings. Very low barrel rate. Pretty low ground ball rate as well, though, so Cardinals might be able to make some contact. Low chase rate. Soft contact, low walk rate as well. So, yeah. It's base hits. You got to beat Matson with base hits. But the Cardinals have the guys to do that. You have Burleson. You have Donovan. Mason Wynn. I like those matchups. Let's get a few hits and get the lead here in the 8th. First pitch to Donovan is in there for a strike at 94 inside, 0-1. The 0-1 pitch from Matson to Donovan. Outside with the fastball, 1-1. Matson not a big threat to walk anybody. At least so far. Probably should have checked his previous seasons for a larger sample, but here's the 1-1 to Donovan. Fouled back on a fastball at the top of the zone, 1-2. His current sample suggests that you got to beat him with singles. I will check. He doesn't have very many big league innings, yeah, so that's really all we have is this innings sample, this season's sample. The 1-2 pitch to Donovan. Outside, 2-2. It's kind of interesting. He's kind of like right on the dot with his locations in some pitches, and then others are just way wildly outside. So maybe you could draw some walks, but I would just take a good swing. The 2-2 is in the dirt with the changeup, 3-2. I mean, you also have to use your eyes. It doesn't look like he's finding the zone super well right now. Yeah, he had a 21% walk rate last year in 5 innings. So maybe that'll balance out. Especially against a team like the Cardinals. Let's see if Donovan can make something out of this 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. So there is some threat to walk some hitters here. The low sample size showing itself here. Good walk by Donovan. 1 man on with nobody out in the 8th. Last year, 21% walk rate. This year it's just been a 5% walk rate for Matson. Donovan just brought that up. So 1 man on, nobody out. First pitch to Mason Wynn is in there, up and in with the fastball, 0-1. Cardinals have 6 hits in the ballgame. The Pirates have just 1. That one coming from McCutchen, of course. The 0-1 pitch from Matson to Wynn. In the dirt with the slider, 1-1. Huge hole on the right side of the infield as they hold Donovan on. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Wynn to Matson. Right down the... Sorry, from Matson to Wynn. He fouled that one off. It's 1-2. He was right down the middle. Mason Wynn. Just called him a pitcher. That's pretty funny. All right. On deck is Alec Burleson. We'll see if Wynn can somehow move Donovan over. The 1-2 is fouled off. Still 1-2. Obviously, Wynn could also just have a long at-bat. force Matson to throw it outside the zone or give up a hit. But Matson is in control here. The 1-2 pitch to Mason Wynn. Chopped foul. Still 1-2. Looked like Wynn might have stubbed his toe on that one or something, but still doing fine. Stepping back in. It's been a beautiful day at PNC Park, from what I can tell. Becoming a night game now at 8:46 Eastern. The 1-2 to win. Fouled off, still 1-2. So it's Donovan on first. 1-2 count. The pitch. Reaches out and pops it up. It's going to be easily playable on the left side of the infield. Hayes makes the catch for out number 1. So a good long at-bat from Wynn, but he was unable to deliver. It's going to bring up Alec Burleson. Burleson is 0 for 3 so far today, yet to strike out in any of these at-bats, but he had an unfortunate line-out double play in the third. But he gets another opportunity here. He's left 3 men on base today, but Donovan's on first here. Let's see if he can deliver. First pitch from Matson to Burleson. Pokes that one foul. It's 0-1. One man on, 1 out in the 8th. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Matson. In there for strike 2 with the fastball at the bottom of the zone. It's 0-2. Really hoping for a hit from Burleson here. A hit to right field could move Donovan from first to third. Extra bases could score him. The 0-2 pitch from Matson to Burleson in the 8th. Goes up and fouls off a fastball way above the zone. Still 0-2. You can never throw it too high for Burleson. Burleson hits pitches at his chin into right field. We've seen it before this year. The 0-2 pitch from Matson to Burleson. Reaches out and pokes it out to left field, but it's caught on the run by Tommy Pham. What a play by Pham. Great read on that ball. It was a good swing by Burleson. Probably has a decent expected batting average. But Pham able to range over and make a nice play in left center, as that one was unable to get into the gap. So that's going to bring up Garrett Hampson with 2 outs and Donovan on first. This is one of those spots where it's a little interesting. I would almost... No, I think you got to just take the at-bat by Hampson here. I was thinking maybe you try to bunt for a hit or try to steal with Donovan. But there's too much upside to letting Hampson swing it here. He might just find a gap. Here is the 1-0 pitch from Matson. With 1 out, I think a bunt would be in order, but 2 outs, probably not. Especially now that it's 2-0. Hampson could draw a walk. Matson about to throw his 20th pitch of the inning, the 2-0 pitch to Hampson. Inside, pulled, foul. 2-1. Hampson is 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the 6th. Ended up entering the game after the Contreras hand injury. He was hit by a pitch. Came out of the game. The 2-1 pitch to Hampson. Swing and a miss. That was a bad pitch from Matson. You could see the relief on his face as Hampson missed it, as that was a hanging slider, and Hampson could have crushed it, but he was just out in front of it for strike number 2. So it's 2-2 with Donovan on first and 2 outs in the 8th. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Matson to Hampson. Outside 3-2. That was the change up. And Donovan's going to get a head start with this next pitch. So now one in the gap is definitely going to score Donovan. Watch out for a hard hit baseball here. The 3-2 pitch to Hampson. Upstairs, ball 4. Fastball missed above the zone, and that's going to bring up Nolan Gorman with the go-ahead run on second. That might be it for Mattson here. You could bring in Genesis Cabrera to go lefty-lefty against Gorman. But they are going to give the scouting report to Mattson, and we'll see if they leave him in. It appears that they're going to let Mattson face Nolan Gorman. So righty-lefty, Gorman with a chance to give the Cardinals the lead in the 8th. Teams are combined 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position. First pitch to Gorman is above the zone, 1-0. Pirates are just 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. Cardinals are 1 for 10 with the Pajes single that resulted in the Pham throw out of Contreras at the plate. The 1-0 pitch is in the dirt, 2-0. I think maybe that mound meeting was saying we're going to pitch around Gorman, try to get him to chase, and then we'll face Fermin. That might be what they're doing here. But that would be very risky as a walk would score the run, so we'll see all bets right here. The 2-0 pitch to Gorman is in the zone. He drives it out to center field. It is deep in right center. Cruz on the run makes the catch right at the warning track. Great play by Cruz. The speed caught up to that ball, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is still scoreless in Pittsburgh. Wow. A lot of exciting plays, but just better defense so far in this one. So due up for the Pirates, it's going to be Hayes, Pham, Davis. It's righty, 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 right? We could just check right here. Righty, yep. Yep, so 3 righties, and then on their bench, they do have Adam Frazier. But he usually plays second base. So they probably won't pitch hit for him. So from the Cardinals bullpen perspective, it's 3 righties. Leahy is ready to go. Let's see if that's who they're going to go to. I mean, to me, this is like slam dunk. You go to Leahy for sure. It's the bottom of the order. That's kind of where Leahy usually comes in. It's a tie ball game. Leahy's been good this year. Give you an extra day off for Helsley and Maton. Well, I mean, at least Maton. At least until next inning. Yeah, it is the bottom of the 8th, so if it's still tied next inning, you could see Maton and then the late Helsley, but and maybe the extra innings, because extra innings Helsley makes more sense because the walk wouldn't matter. Helsley has a high walk rate, very high strikeout rate. So you go to Helsley in extras with the runner on second. Well, now you have a walk to give up that's free, and you just get those strikeouts and then get the final out of the inning. That's kind of the huge benefit of having Helsley, is he's going to be great in that 10th inning. Let's see, did they go to Leahy? Pallante's definitely done, you can see. His day is over. But they went to Maton here, so maybe they're expecting multiple innings. Maybe it's just 8th inning Maton. You hope you get the lead in the 9th and go straight to Helsley. But it will be Phil Maton for the Cardinals. First pitch missed outside with the cutter. It's 1-0. Maton's walk rate is getting a little bit high this year. That's the only real issue for him. The 1-0 pitch. In there with a cutter at the top of the zone, 1-1. The reason I don't like Maton here specifically is that he has a high walk rate. But other than that, it's just that he can face really good hitters and get the same results. As here's a drive out to right field for a base hit for Ke'Bryan Hayes. So 1 man on with nobody out in the 8th. That's going to bring up Tommy Pham. That's the first hit for anyone not named McCutcheon today. And that's as a result of Pallante coming out of the game. That one went off the end of the bat of Hayes. It spun out just away from Donovan. He was unable to get to that one. So 1 man on with nobody out for Adam Frazier. They are going to pinch hit for Pham with Adam Frazier. So maybe we could see a double switch here. Guess we'll have to find out. First pitch from Maton to Frazier in the 8th. Pulled foul, 0-1. Both Maton and Leahy are decent at facing the opposite side. Frazier's a career 2 for 6 against Maton, which is actually pretty good. That's not ideal. As here's the 0-1 from Maton. It is pulled high in the air to right field. That one is going to get down. Oh, is it? Is that a ground rule double? Yes, it is. So it got down in fair territory, bounced into the seats for a ground rule double. So definitely not the results you were looking for there from Maton. He threw a sweeper low and in. Frazier was able to keep it fair, get the barrel to the ball. He put it in the air, but nobody was going to get to that one. And now Maton is at risk of giving up the first run of the game. Runners at second and third with nobody out. It's going to bring up Henry Davis. Here you're looking for a strikeout or a very soft grounder. First pitch is up and away with the curveball, 1-0. You could maybe walk him if you wanted to. As Mason Wynn is making an adjustment, trying to play him to pull. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss with the sweeper. It is 1-1. Davis is a guy that you can strike out. Be a very important strikeout here if Maton can find it. The 1-1 pitch in the 8th from Maton. Goes down and lofts it into center field. Victor Scott on the run will make the catch, but that is going to be deep enough. The run comes in from third, and the Pirates lead 1-0 in the 8th. So this could be the first time Paul Skenes beats the Cardinals as a team. It's not going to be a win for him, but he is yet to have his team beat the Cardinals. And the Cardinals will have to make a comeback in the 9th in order to prevent that. But yeah, I mean, we haven't seen very much of Leahy. It would have been nice to see Leahy there. Can't bicker about it, obviously, as Maton's obviously been fantastic this year. Had a rough inning. Still got to get these next 2 outs and give your team a chance. First pitch was in there for a strike on IKF. The second pitch, he steps off and takes a pickoff attempt at Frazier. So that is the first disengagement of this at-bat. It is 1-0 Pittsburgh in the 8th. Cardinals have stranded runners all day. The 0-1 ground ball. Stopped by Wynn deep at short. Hard throw to first. Burleson unable to corral it. And there's runners at the corners with 1 out. Wynn was playing really far back at short there. Had to skip the throw to first, but I think he would have had him if Burleson had kept it in front of him. Unfortunately, Burleson isn't quite as sure-handed as Contreras is there, so the ball skipped out of his glove. That'll cost the Cardinals a base runner here. So that is unfortunate. Now there's runners at the corners with just 1 out. For the top of the order with Spencer Horwitz. A double play could be huge here. First pitch from Maton to Horwitz here in the 8th. Just upstairs with the cutter. It is 1-0. The 1-0 pitch from Maton to Horwitz is upstairs 2-0. Horwitz is 0 for 3 so far today with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. But Maton can't find the zone. 2-0 pitch. In there with the sweeper, it's 2-1. Two-one pitch is outside 3-1 on Horwitz. On deck is McCutchen. McCutchen's reached base in all 3 plate appearances today. But it would set up a play at any base. The 3-1 pitch to Horwitz from Maton. Swing and a miss on a curveball at the bottom of the zone, 3-2. So the Pirates now hold a 1-0 lead. Maton a little bit frustrated, looking to get one more out here in the 8th. Time is called by Horwitz. Maton showing a little bit of frustration as he's not used to blowing leads like this. Or I guess giving up the lead in this case. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Horwitz from Maton. He goes ahead and finally delivers. Popped up. Caught by Gorman over by third base. And that is out number 2. So a huge out there from Maton will bring up Andrew McCutchen. Maton's thrown 16 pitches this inning. An inning with just 1 run allowed isn't the worst inning of all time. The Cardinals could come back in the 9th. Just got to get one more out here of McCutchen. McCutchen has been the toughest out for the Cardinals to get all day. But it turned out to be the other guys who produced a run here in the 8th. First pitch from Maton to McCutchen here in the 8th with runners at the corners. Strike 1 with the cutter up and away. It's 0-1. Cardinals are playing McCutchen to pull. Win deep in that shortstop gap. The 0-1 pitch is upstairs with the cutter, 1-1. Maton has been great against McCutchen in his career. He is 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts against Maton. The 1-1 pitch from Maton. Driven the other way foul. It is 1-2. I believe Fermin would be due up first for the Cardinals in the 9th. Maton still has to make one more pitch for that to happen, though. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. 20th pitch of the day for Maton. Here's the 1-2 to McCutchen. Outside with the curveball, 2-2. Maton settles in, and McCutchen fouls off a curveball, still 2-2. McCutchen this season hitting just 100 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. He is 2 for 20. Maton has to make another pitch, though. It's been a long at-bat. The 2-2 pitch to McCutchen. Swing and a miss on a curveball low and away. Down goes McCutchen. Maton took a breath there and delivered. It's going to be David Bednar against Fermin, Nootbaar, Pajes. So Nootbaar is available as the Cardinals hope. We'll see if he can drive one in this 9th inning. I mean, if we look at Nootbaar, does he barrel the ball? And obviously we should take a look at Bednar. We'll do that in just a moment. Yeah, Bednar. All right. Average exit velocity, obviously really high. Launch angle's been just above average, which isn't perfect. Barrel rate is pretty good. We want to see him at a homer here, obviously. But if he can reach, that would be plenty. 335 on base. If you look at David Bednar, very high strikeout rate. Low walk rate, does give up the barrel. So, I mean, that is what it is. He's above average at everything except the barrel rate. So you just have to crush him. You have to hit a homer. Obviously, base hits can get to him as well a little bit, but if you look at the numbers here, expected batting average is low. Doesn't get a lot of chase, which is good. You can look for your pitch, take pitches outside the zone, and when you get it, you got to crush it. That's the way to beat Bednar, is just hit homers, which is exactly what you want to see for the 9th inning. Does that hold up over multiple years? To some extent. He also had a high walk rate last year, so that's something to watch out for as well. A team like the Cardinals could probably produce some walks against him, but here's what a good year looks like for him. 2023, just a 2 ERA. The walk rate was middling. Still gave up some hard-hit baseballs, so walks maybe, barrels for sure. That's this season against Bednar. Got to hit the ball hard. All right. So Fermin, Nootbaar, and Pages. Nootbaar is the guy I'm looking at to barrel one for extra bases. These other guys, Fermin, Pages, and Scott, I'm really only expecting base hits out of those guys, but here is the first pitch of the 9th. To Fermin, it is low and away with the curveball, 1-0. Base hits and walks from these guys. Try to get on base. Nootbaar and maybe eventually Donovan could barrel one up against Bednar, maybe even Scott. The 1-0 pitch is right down the middle for strike one. It is 1-1. Fermin at the plate, the 1-1 pitch. Right down the middle, fouled off. It is 1-2. Fermin did have a double back in the 7th. That is how that was ruled. I thought it was an error. It was off the glove of Martinez. But that is what it is. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 9th. The 1-2 pitch from Bednar to Fermin. Low and away with the curveball, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch from Bednar to Fermin. Popped up. That's going to be out of play. Still 2-2. So Bednar having to deal with a long at-bat from Fermin. The 2-2 pitch here in the 9th. Upstairs, 3-2. That was a fastball missed by a mile. With Lars Nootbaar waiting on deck, it's a full count on Jose Fermin. That would be a fantastic time to reach base. The 3-2 pitch from Bednar to Fermin. Inside ball 4. And Fermin shows some good heart, works along at bat, and reaches base first in the 9th. This is a really interesting moment now because, Nootbaar can barrel one up, drive him in with an extra base hit. But Fermin, is he pretty fast? Sprint speed data. He is above average, so he could steal a base. I don't think it's worth the risk, but it is in his game. We'll get back to it. First pitch missed to Nootbaar. It's 1-0. Second pitch is outside, 2-0. And now they're going to go out and talk to David Bednar. So Bednar in trouble here in the ninth. Fermin on first, nobody out with Nootbaar at the plate. Nootbaar has 11 home runs on the season. One of the best hitters in baseball at drawing walks. Definitely wants to see one go in the zone before swinging against Bednar here, unless he's just looking for one specific pitch. The 2-0 pitch from Bednar to Nootbaar. Fastball outside, just caught the outside corner. It's 2-1. Good take by Nootbaar. You could tell he wanted to swing at that. He was looking fastball, but it wasn't his part of the zone. He's going to make Bednar keep finding the zone. All bets are off with this. The 2-1 pitch from Bednar to Nootbaar. Fastball, middle out. He popped it up into center field. And Cruz makes the call and the catch for out number 1. So I agree with Marmol there. But now you should probably pinch hit for Pozo. For Pages. Maybe with Pozo. And it will be Pozo. Pozo's already been a hero for the Cardinals earlier this year. He's going to come into the game for Pages right now. So Joel Pozo coming in the game now. One man on, one out. It is Fermin on first. He could steal second. That is a potential choice the Cardinals could make here. First pitch. In there with the fastball low and away. It is 0-1 on Pozo. Pozo a threat to hit the baseball. He almost never walks or strikes out. So he could find extra bases with a well-placed hit here. The 0-1 pitch from Bednar. Pulled down the left field line. Fair. It is in the corner. The left fielder falls down. Charges in, and it's runners at second and third with one out in the ninth. Pozo does find extra bases, and the Cardinals are threatening to tie it with just one out. Joel Pozo delivers in the ninth. It was looks like a slider. Yeah, probably a sweeper. Below the zone, he reached down with the barrel, hooked it over the third baseman's head. Who's coming in to play left field for them now? That is Canario out there in left, as Pham is out of the game. And now with runners on second and third, it is Victor Scott with a chance to give the Cardinals the lead. The first pitch to Scott. Fouled off his foot. It is 0-1. That was the splitter. A ground ball would give the Cardinals the lead. A base hit. A ground ball would tie the game. Base hit would give the Cardinals the lead. The infield is in. Huge chance for Scott. These are the situations he's been best at this year. The 0-1 pitch from Bednar to Scott. Outside with the splitter. 1-1. Scott's already seen the splitter a couple of times now in this at-bat. The 1-1 pitch from Bednar to Scott. Low and in. Looks like it hit him. They're not going to say it hit him. It is 2-1. So Scott jumped out of the way of that one and looked like was hopping on one foot. Oh, okay. His foot ended up hitting the glove of Bednar. So that's what caused him to hop. Not Bednar, sorry. The glove of the catcher. That is Davis today. Here is the 2-1 pitch to Scott. Ground ball, right-hand side. They're going to go to the plate. Out at the plate is Fermin. We're going to have to see another look at that one. Cardinals are going to have that reviewed. It looked like Scott drove him in on this soft grounder, but we're going to need to see a replay. I think Fermin dove in past the tag. Let's take a look. High chopper over to first base. He charged in and made a good throw, But I think Fermin got his hand in prior to the tag. Let's see. Dove around. I don't know if the sliding glove made contact. We're going to need a better angle than that. This tag was really slow. They tagged him in the helmet. I think the ump was ready to call out regardless, as the throw did beat him, but I think the sliding glove might have got there first. This is a huge call in the game. We're going to need to see another angle than what they've already shown. If that's all they have, it's really frustrating that they called him out, because I think he was safe. I need to see the sliding glove replay again, though. Marmal's shaking his head here. Let's see, here we go. Umpire standing in the way. He did not. It looks like he did not get it fast enough with the sliding glove. Yeah, there's going to be nothing that can overturn that, it looks like. So that is a frustrating moment for the Cardinals, but we'll see if maybe it changes anyway. Clear and convincing. The umpire was standing in front of the camera. It's almost impossible for us to know for sure. But it appeared he was probably out. I'm not sure whether the end of the sliding glove made contact, though. It was a great effort by Fermin regardless. Great slide at the plate. And it's going to be Brendan Donovan next up regardless, so the Cardinals do have an opportunity against Bednar in the 9th. They say the call on the field stands. The runner is out. So 2 outs. It's going to put runners at the corners once again. And it'll be Brendan Donovan facing David Bednar. I'm going to have to see. I mean, how could there be runners at... Oh, yeah, because Pozo was on second. Okay. So Pozo on third now with 2 outs. Donovan's a career 3 for 8 with a double against Bednar. So a base hit could tie this one. First pitch to Donovan. Right down the middle with the splitter. It is 0-1. Bednar loves to throw that splitter against lefties. See if Donovan can find a hole here. The 0-1 pitch from Bednar to Donovan in the 9th. Pulled foul. 0-2. So the Cardinals are down to their final strike here in the 9th. Big moment in this one. There is a hole in the middle infield for Donovan to drive it. The 0-2 pitch from Bednar to Donovan. Missed. No, he gets the call low and in with the curveball. Down goes Donovan, and the Cardinals lose 1-0. So many base runners just barely failed to score in this one for the Cardinals, and that will do it. The runners in scoring position will tell you the story. Cardinals were 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position. Pirates 1 for 4. And that run actually scored, so it's a 1-0 final. And we will see you guys tomorrow for the final game of the series. That is a